Hi, and welcome back to my channel. So today I want to talk rally, specifically the 2024 Heart of Texas Boomtown Rally. I'm leaving out of here on Wednesday. Today's Monday. They've got two different rallies. You've got a 30-hour and a 58. I'm in the 58-hour rally, and I want to talk a little bit about it. And I'm also going to give you my theory on how rallies are changing. So if you're interested, stick around. Dang, this looks like a cliff. I mean, this is a cliff. All right, I can do it. I can do it. Hang on, let me figure out which way we go. I think we stay, I don't know. Yeah, no big deal. Okay, so for the Heart of Texas rally, Paul Tong is the rally master for these. He does typically kind of 2 a year. The spring is a different rally. In this one, you can start anywhere you want. You don't even have to start in Texas, but you lose a lot of time. So you start anywhere you want. He sends you the rally information, the book, your rally flag, and all that stuff a couple weeks early. A couple weeks. So you have a lot of time to plan, or if you're like me, overthink, analyze everything. But this rally, I've used every bit of it. So I'm pretty prepared now. The bike is ready. So let's talk about it. All right, Boomtown Rally. Here we go. Okay. This is the first thing that I think I focused on. He has Texas broken up into 8 regions, and a requirement for this is you have to get at least 1 oil derrick in each region. Okay, so the mistake I've made in these rallies before is I went for big things and really didn't understand the puzzle, as I like to refer to them. So I took this and I broke it down into sections. So the first thing is he says I've got to have 1 of these derricks in each region. So simple enough, I threw everything into base camp and I took all these that are oil derricks and I numbered them. 1 for each region. So I've got numbers 1 through 8. It was easy at that point for me to see that I got a number 1, a number 2, a number 3, and so on and so forth. So that was how I tackled that portion. Now, the next part, if you look at that, he says there are 9 bonus types, okay? Inside those bonus types, you have 4 categories: oil production, equipment, labor training, and land leases. Simple enough. All 9 bonus types fall into 4 categories. Simple enough. You only get scored off your lowest category. All right. So he gives an example. Let me show you. So here you would only score 250 points, not the 600, 500, or 600 over there. So that tells you that these 4 categories need to be even to bring the score up. So you have to consider that when you're route planning. I hope that makes sense. And then he talks a little bit about different combinations, and there's a lot of combos in this rally. So the next twist, Paul always has meal breaks in his rallies. Everyone knows that. 45 minutes you have to be off the bike and eat food. You have to get a receipt. Okay, so you got to eat and buy some food. Now, with this, most of the time, in the past, I will say, you could stop at any restaurant. This time, he gave you some restaurants, and he gave a few of them you could score points. Matter of fact, there was 3 that you got 4,000 points apiece. So if you hit these 3 restaurants for 45 minutes, you scored an extra 12,000 points. So I thought that was big. So I incorporated those 3 into my route. Now, it's up to you to make sure you've got the times, and that was another challenge. Who's the guy that has a restaurant that's closed on Saturday? Dude, do you know what you did to me? Anyway, so that was another challenge. So I felt, and I do feel, that's a big part of it. So the next thing, your rest bonuses. Now, typically the rest bonuses are stop and you get minimum of 4, max of 8, and you score points. Okay, his little twist. Again, you can start anytime you want, but you only score points between 8 p.m. and 6 a.m. So if you stopped at 7 and left at 4, you didn't get points from 7 to 8 p.m. If you leave after 6 a.m., you don't score any points. I hope that makes sense. So there's another little twist, and it requires you to plan accordingly. So keep that in mind. And then here, this is another thing that I struggled with. The explanation he gives on rest bonus. If you look right here, it's rest minutes times 2 times, I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. I can't figure that out. Paul Tong, the rally master here, is somewhere between Albert Einstein and Stephen King. He's got a genius mind. He really thinks through these things, and he throws enough twists in there so he can sit back and just laugh at us when we're trying to figure it out. So he probably spent 6 months planning this, and we've spent 2 weeks planning this, and he will enjoy watching us scatter trying to sort out this puzzle. I can tell you. So the next thing is the penalty for being late. I signed up for the 58-hour rally. Surprise, it's 57 hours and 45 minutes. If you finish at 4 o'clock, you're DQ'd. So penalties start at 3:45. So you need to pay attention to that. It's tough to finish late and still do well. So I started off planning again with the regions and then my combos. Let me show you one other thing he does for you. He sent out a scoring helper, he calls it. Okay. Now this thing allows you to enter the bonus code that you're going to, and it scores you. Remember that great big old mathematical equation that I said I couldn't figure out? Well, this thing does it for you. I spend as much time in this as I have anywhere. So this was a huge help. Again, go back to the Albert Einstein that Paul Tong is. This seriously helps. And I don't know what I've done if this wouldn't have been included. I can tell you in the past, I've never tried to use it. I couldn't figure it out. This was very simple. It scores your meal breaks up here. It scores your bonuses and combos. I mean, it scores everything and keeps you current with what you're doing. What a great tool. All right, so I'm super excited about this. There's going to be some dirt roads. I'm an oil field guy, so I'm really excited about this rally. I feel I'm really well prepared. I've looked at all kinds of things. I've done some things. I hope they work. So I'm really excited about the rally. Now, I mentioned in the title, I mentioned earlier that I think rally world is changing. So I'm a risk versus reward type of guy. Before I received any of the information on the rally, I was trying to speculate how many rest breaks we would have, how many meal breaks we would have. And in the past, I've been able to move that meal break to wherever I wanted. And my plan was to start off in the morning. It starts at 6 a.m. I was going to ride till 11 o'clock at night, take my meal break, take a power nap for an hour, and then ride through the night. Well, he threw in a couple more twists with certain restaurants you got to use, time frames on your rest breaks, the mandatory rest breaks. So my risk versus reward doesn't work. That's okay. The mandatory meal breaks and mandatory rest breaks. It's a change that's coming. Mathematically, you shouldn't ignore them because there's so many points you're going to lose, you're not going to make up for them. And it's a lot healthier for you to get the rest you need. I can tell you in previous rally, I did well the first 6 days. The last 5, I kept cutting my rest break short, and between heat, lack of nutrition and everything, I fell off and I just wasn't doing well. So he's doing those things. This is my opinion. He's doing these things for a couple reasons. If I crash and injure myself, that's on me. They do make us have really high insurance levels for this stuff. And I think, again, my opinion, and that's so if I hit somebody and hurt somebody else, they're going to sue me. If I have typical low-level insurance and I pay enough just to put a Band-Aid on the people and move on down the road, they're going to go search for someone else to sue. I mean, we've got a bunch of lawyers out there that just love to sue people. So, got the Texas Hammer, right? So who are they going to sue next? The Rally Master. So, they bump up our levels. So if you do something dumb and have an accident and get somebody hurt, they're going to sue you, protecting the Rally Master. Again, my opinion. The next thing is the Rally Master himself needs to have insurance. And the insurance is mandating rest breaks and meal breaks. This is my opinion. So, what does that mean? Well, it means things are changing. This isn't the first time Rally World has changed. Back in the 80s when they first started the IBR, it was paper maps. They didn't have GPSs. They didn't have spreadsheets that color-coded stuff and factored in daylight and sunset and all those things. Rally World's changed. It's changing again. So if it doesn't fit, get a bigger hammer system, that doesn't work. You've got to be methodical in how you plan. You've got to think through it. I mean, it takes a more crafty rider, not just sit on the bike and hammer out miles, which is my strong suit. So I've got to learn a new craft. I've got to be better at how I route plan. The other thing, I think at the end of the day, rallies that have time restrictions, speed restrictions, all those things, I think it'll make it more competitive. When you take a guy that can ride 36 or 48 hours straight, man, he bangs out a lot of bonuses and a lot of points. And then you take a guy that's super uber smart and just picks off really good ones, he still can't compete with that guy that can ride 48 hours straight. So I think things will be more competitive. So I was hesitant, I was reluctant. I like to pound out big miles. I can still get decent miles out of this one, but I've learned a lot about routing. I may still score crappy, but we'll find out. So I think, again, my opinion, I've not spoke to anyone from the Iron Butt Association or Paul Tong about this. My opinion, people are just covering their bases. It's the world we live in today. All right, so there'll be more coming on the Heart of Texas Rally. I hope you got something out of this. If you have any questions, let me know. Appreciate you watching. Have a great day. Be safe.